guys, it's Brielle. Thanks again for watching another one of my videos. I'm going to be showing you today in this tutorial how to get this super easy, cute, gray grunge look. And as you can see, I'm just prepping my face for our makeup application. I'm using Benefit's POREfessional primer. I'm going to be pressing that right into my skin, right into my pores. And then I'm going to go right into color correcting my skin. First, I'm going to be using Becca's Under Eye Color Correcting Concealer and then NYX's Green Concealer to cancel out the redness of my acne on my skin. Now I'm going to be blending that right out with our beauty blender. And it's okay if you don't blend it all the way out. Now I'm using a Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer in the shade Fair. And I'm just going to be putting that right underneath of my eyes where my dark circles are, and also on my acne because I love the formula of this concealer. It really just covers up anything. Now I'm using Maybelline's FIT ME Matte and Poreless Foundations. I'm going to be mixing that with some Becca Backlight Primer. And the reason why I use two different color foundations is because one has more of a yellow pigment to it and the other one has more neutral skin tones. And I have very red pigmentation in my face, so the yellow always cancels out the redness very, very well. You just really want to pat the foundation into your skin so you get that natural skin finish so you don't look streaky. And then you're just going to go over your face one more time with your beauty blender just to pick up any excess foundation you might have. To highlight, I'm going to be using my favorite concealer right now, which is the Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. I'm just going to be placing that on my high points, which is underneath my eyes, my forehead, on my chin. I always like to highlight around where my smile lines are. And then you're just going to blend that right out with your beauty blender. And once again, like the foundation, you really just want to press the concealer into the skin. And this is because you don't want to mess up your base of your foundation now. So you're just going to press, press, press. And then I'm going to be setting underneath my eyes with my Bedescu colorless powder. And I'm also going to be putting that right around my lips as well because I do get smile lines. And if you set around them, then you won't get them. And then I'm going to take my Bobbi Brown Illuminator in the shade Fair. And I'm just going to be putting that all over my face. And now we're going to be contouring with our Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Kit. We're going to be taking the middle color from the contour colors. And I'm just going to be putting that right on my cheekbones. And I'm also going to be blending that out. And then I'm going to take that right onto my forehead as well, just to make my forehead look a little bit smaller. And then to hollow out the cheekbones, I'm going to take that darker color. I'm going to put that right very tightly into my cheekbones. And with the same colors, I'm going to be just contouring out my nose. You want to really make sure you blend out the lines. I love contouring my nose because I love giving the illusion that my nose is smaller than it really already is. And now I'm just going to be carving out my cheekbones with the Bedescu colorless powder. I'm also going to be setting around my nose with that powder as well. And this really gives that dramatic effect that your nose is smaller than what it actually is. Now we're just going to move right onto the brows. I know you guys have seen me do my brows so many times, so I'm not really going to go too into depth about what I'm doing right now. I'm using the Anastasia 7B brush to apply the Anastasia dipbrow in Granite, and then I always go in and I fill in my brows with the duobrow powder, also in Granite. And then at the end, I always just set my brows with the clear brow gel. I'm telling you, like, I just am obsessed with Anastasia brow products in general. Like, I haven't used anything else in so long. I just swear by the dipbrow. As you can see, this brush really gets like the most defined lines. And I'm going to be taking the 18 brush by Anastasia. I'm just carving out my brows using my Decay Skin Concealer. And this is probably my favorite part of doing the eyebrows because this is like finishing up, really. This is like where you really get that shape that you want. And then of course you're going to blend out the concealer as well. And this is really important to blend out your concealer because you don't want there to be a distinct difference between where your foundation is and where your concealer is on your eyebrows, because really you look like a mess. So now we're just going to dust away the powder. And I really just like to buff it into my skin, really, not really dust away. For my bronzer, I'm going to be using Revolution's Vivid Baked Bronzer Powder in the shade Golden Days. And I just am obsessed with bronzer. Like, I always do bronzer when I contour just because I always just like to have that nice glow. And then for my blush, I'm using this mini NARS blush. I believe it's called Ghoulie, but don't count me on that. I'm probably really mispronouncing it. And now using the matte Camille side of the Duo pencil for Anastasia, I'm just going to be using that to prep my eyelids for my eyeshadow. And you're just going to press that right into your eyelids just to have a nice clean base. And I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette. And I'm using the shades, right now I'm using Fringe. And this is just a transition color. This is the build up the rest of the colors that we're doing. And then I'm going to go tightly into my crease with Silk. And this is a really buildable color. You can always go much more intense with this than I am. But the steps of this is really, you want to build the color and then blend it out as you're doing it. Now we're going to be applying a darker purple. We're using Ribbon right now. And again, you're putting that tightly in the crease. And again, you're going to be blending it out. It's really just the same steps pretty much over and over again until you get that color that you really want. Now I'm going to be taking Twinkle, which is almost like a frosted eyeshadow from the palette. And that's just to add a little bit of sparkle into the crease. Now for our eyelid color, I'm using Glitz, which is just like, it's supposed to be pink, but it really looks white on me. And I'm blending that out with my finger. I'm going to be placing some ribbon right on my outer corner, just to add some more depth to my eyelid. And you guessed it, we're going to be blending that out as well. And I really just like to take whatever is left on my brush and I'll apply that right onto my lower lash line. There's normally enough product that I don't need extra. Now I'm spraying my face with the Mario Bedescu Rose Water Spray, and I'm using Cocoa Bling as my highlighter from Artist Couture, which is like my favorite highlighter company. Like, oh my gosh, go and buy all of them, I swear. I swear by them. They're the best highlighters I've ever used. And of course, you're just highlighting where you really want. I always do on my chin as well, on my cupid's bow, my nose, and on my forehead. Now I'm just wiping away any product that I might have on my lips from my foundation. And I'm applying just a little bit more Cocoa Bling to my cupid's bow. I'm also going to be highlighting my inner tear duct as well. For my lip liner, I'm using one of NYX's Suede lip liners, which if you've heard me talk about these, I love them. I have a whole collection. This is in the shade Brooklyn Thorn. I'm just going to be going over that lip liner with ColourPop's Opal to really get that nice gray color. It almost has like a purple undertone to it, but it looks gray on me and I love that. And of course, I'm just overlining my lips because your girl doesn't have any. Gotta make up for it somewhere. And then I like to carve out my bottom lip using some concealer, and again that 18 brush by Anastasia. And I do this because I always like to make my bottom lip a little bit more defined. And now I'm using my Benefit Roller Lash Mascara, which is my favorite as of right now. I've been using it for a couple months now, and I have not been swayed towards anything else. Like, the way it just works my lashes is perfect. And now I'm making this really ugly face while I put some eyeliner on my upper waterline. And then for my eyelashes, they're like custom made ones that I like put together, so I don't really know how to explain to you what lashes I'm using, but basically, yeah, I'm putting some eyelashes on right now. And I don't know why it took me so long to start using tweezers to apply my lashes, but it has really changed my life. I was always using my fingers before, but that was a mistake. That's basically the look, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below what you thought, and I'll see you guys in my next video.